What if you could change your entire reality by just using your imagination and your body? You can. Hi, and welcome back to the Embody Podcast. It's great to have you here. Today, we're going to talk about reality hopping. What if you could change your entire reality by just using your imagination and your body? You can. And that's what we're going to do today. So, why change your reality? Are there things in your life that you want or want to be different? Like, do you want a career? Do you want love, more money? Do you want to have different friendships, a different home? Whatever it is that you want, a lot of people try to manifest that or try to work really hard in their current life to get that. So instead of doing the grind and doing the work on the physical realm, let's do the work in the inner realm so that it can happen easily and organically in the physical realm. Because that's where your power is. When you work on the inner self, your inner state of being, you have the power to affect the external world completely and much more powerfully than you can if you are just working on the physical realm. It's like a tree. A tree has roots, and that's what you water in order to affect the entire tree. You don't water the little tips of the branches and the leaves. Sure, the sun needs to touch those, but you water the roots or you affect change at the root and it changes the entirety. So that's what it's like to work with our energy and our state of being. We create from the inside and then the outer reality matches us. So whatever our frequency is, whatever our capacity for divine and for wholeness and for light is in our body, that shows up in our external world. The external world is an outpouring of the past state of being, of the past intentions, the past beliefs. So whatever you see in your outer world, whatever you see happening, or whatever you're feeling about it, that's all the past. And that's to say that we don't have to attach to it to use it as confirmation that, oh yeah, this is how the world is as a fact, right? Or this is what's happening for me. And look, it's happening. It's happening. It's happening. Let's not get hooked on that. Let's use the external reality as a reflection for us, as a way to say, oh, this is what's happening in our inner state. It points us to what's going on the inside. And then you can take your inner world and shift it if you want. You can go, oh, that's what's going on. I'm in a situation where I feel like I'm disrespected again. And so instead of just taking that as a fact, like I'm not worthy of respect, or I'm just angry, they should respect me, and just having all these reactions about it. Stop that. Notice that reflection as a guidepost or a portal to something that's going on in you, in your emotional state, in your psyche, that if you looked at it and shifted it, you could create a whole other reality externally. So we can do that with specific things, but today what we're going to do is do it in a broader way by just creating a whole new way of being that you want to be so that your outer reality can shift. We're going to reality hop. So who you are right now is just one possibility of who you can be. We are source energy. We are light. We are divine. We are whatever you want to call that essence that is of the all, and that is everything. And since we are that, we are every possibility. Source is every possibility infinitely, and so are we. So there is no given on this planet or in this universe or in all these dimensions. We're here creating it. So the reality that you see outside of yourself isn't just a given. We're creating it. You're creating it. You get to create a whole other possibility. The thing I find really interesting about shifting into a more expanded reality of myself is that different things happen in that space. One, I treat myself differently. I feel differently. And I have different inspirations and ideas. But also, the more I'm in line with divine, the more I'm like source energy. That is to say, the more I'm free and feeling joy and feeling ease and feeling peace, all of these yummy, spacious feelings, the more that I'm in touch with synchronicity, with the way that things can happen unexpectedly, with a whole other set of logic that really is unbounded by the way that we think things work. So things don't follow a certain order and timeline. There isn't one pathway or a way that things should work if you want to do XYZ. Like if you want a certain kind of job, you think, oh, then I have to train like this and I have to do that and I have to do this. Maybe not. Maybe that's just not how it's going to work for you. But we luckily don't have to worry about all those details if we align and then let the inspiration come to us. Align to the new expanded self, a new state of being, and then let that inspiration come. So instead of doing in the world and trying to make things happen in that external world, trying to make your relationship different, or to get that person to apologize to you, or to work really hard to grind to try to make a certain amount of money. I'm not saying not to do any of those things, but first go into your inner state and shift from there. Shift into the person who has those things, who is those things that you want to be. And then you can find what inspired action comes from that place, because it's going to come with much more ease than where it's coming from now. So instead of doing in order to have what you want and then be happy, working from the outside in, let's work from the inside out. By being, we can do from that state of being, and then we can have. So with that, you're unattached to the external world. You're so much freer and not reliant or dependent on things in the external world for your inner happiness and peace. You create that and resonate that outward from inside, and then everything externally has to follow. It will. The thing, though, is that while you're creating that new space, sometimes the stuff that's in your current life takes a little bit of a process to move out. And in that process, it can become really, really uncomfortable. Like things might break, relationships might get uncomfortable, or fights might happen, or things might come to the surface. You might have something happen in your job, or with your home, or in any space of your life that feels like this is not going well. That's actually a good sign that things are going well for your manifestation, that your new state of being, your expanded energy is pushing into your outer reality, and anything that doesn't belong in that new energy has to clear out and go. So the way it clears out and goes is it comes to the surface, and then if you acknowledge it and let it move, it moves. or it comes to the surface in a relationship, and then you see it happen in certain spaces of your life. Maybe you lose your job, or maybe it just becomes so unbearable that you want to leave, or maybe things look like the opposite thing is happening, the opposite of what you wanted for a time. Don't panic. That's actually a good sign that things are already in motion, that your manifestation is working and the energy is touching your external world and allowing things to fall off that need to fall off. So just like a tree allows its leaves to fall off in the fall and into the winter, it doesn't grab on to those old branches that are breaking off. Don't grab on to those things. Let them go. Let things fall off. And then just keep on going into that inner state, that same state of being that you want, instead of using your outer world to give you or to make you feel certain ways. Create it from the inside out, over and over, inside out. Be convinced that that's who you are, no matter what's happening on the external world, in the external world. Eventually, your world will change. The external world will change and match who you are. There's a saying that you don't get what you want, you get what you are. And I kind of think it's a little more like, because what you are is source energy and light, and you don't always just get that. I think what we're here to do is play with that and play with how we can be and what we're experiencing here if we create this, if we create that. And what I mean by creating, it's like, what are your beliefs? What are the beliefs that are happening? What are the thoughts that you're creating internally? What is your schema of things? And then you get to see it in the outer world. So what have you created? You get to see it right here. And do you want to create something new? So this is a great chance to let go of the form in which you think things should happen. Instead of thinking it has to look like this. Focus deeper on what you want it to feel like instead, so that the universe gives you the best picture of how this could look. It gives you things you could not even fathom, because as you created it, you might be in an older state of being, and your mind is not as expanded as your energy can be, as your essential light being is. So if you let that work itself instead of your mind, instead of attaching to, it's got to look like this in order for me to be happy. No, focus on the happiness and the way that feels, and creating that energy state and flow inside of yourself, and letting everything come from there. Be so convinced that that is who you are, that the world reflects it. So we're going to jump into this exercise. And what I would like you to do is imagine you have two movie screens in front of you, one on the left and one on the right. And on the left side, I want you to picture your current reality, and on the right side, the new reality. So we're going to take this a little bit slower, but it's going to be kind of fast how I explain it. So you might choose to stop this recording, this podcast, or wherever you're watching this at different times, or you can play it all and, come back and play parts that you need. If you want to pause this and grab your journal, this is a great time to do that, so that you can jot down some notes about the details of what to look at here and what to do here. But we'll jump in now. So in the left screen, picture your current reality in every way with all your five senses. Notice how you are, what you look like, what you're feeling, who's in your life, what's in your life, and very importantly, how you're feeling, as I mentioned, and how your body's feeling. Notice your health, and what you feel about that. Notice the thoughts that you have and the things that you say to yourself. Notice the thoughts that you have about others and the world. Notice the conversations you have with other people, the exact words that might be said, and what you spend your time talking about. And overall, notice how you spend your time. Zoom out a little bit so you can see it all from a little bit of a distance, and notice how your body is currently feeling as you witness this. And then go into the right screen, and this is where we're going to use your imagination and your body to create a whole new reality. You're going to let the body resonate in a new space. So use your imagination, use what's not your reality right now. Make it palpably different from the current reality so that you can sense a bigger shift or like a noticeable shift from one to the other. So in this new picture, be the person that already has what you desire. Be the person that already is who you desire to be. Notice how that person feels. Notice how they dress, how your hair is, how every part of your existence is, where you are, what you're doing. Notice your thoughts, both to yourself and about the world and others. Notice your conversations. What do they sound like? What things are you saying in this reality? Notice everything about this new reality, especially how you're feeling and how your body's feeling. Notice if you're connected with different things like synchronicities and magic, like we had mentioned before. You get to design it. Everything is possible. And then also zoom out and get a feel for what your body is feeling now as you look at that new picture. And be open to whatever you feel as you look at either one of these. Your body might want to process some emotions, or it might just want to go right into that new energy and vibrate there. What I mean is go right in that energy and feel it and breathe in and be in that feeling. That's the feeling you want to have, right? So practice it. Be in it. Be that person. And take a moment and toggle between the left and the right screen. Take some time, maybe a couple breaths, your choice how many or how long to hang there. But see the screen on the left and notice how you're feeling. Notice what it's like without any judgment. And then toggle and switch to the right, to the new reality, and feel that. And just go back and forth at your own pace. And what this does is it begins to create a neutrality where you're okay either way, where the emotions that are embedded in any of these two images for you start to clear through or move through and clear out. And all of it becomes more neutral. If you want to go the extra mile, you can even say to both of these, like, I'm okay either way, and I'm okay either way if I have this or not. And what that does is it lets you have no attachment or be unattached to that new outcome, so that it just is. You just become that when there isn't that resistance. And you can spend time each day looking at this or toggling back and forth. For some people, it takes a couple minutes to do this, and they don't need much time to do this. And then they're done and they just let it be and it's all set in motion. And for others, it takes time to step into that new state of being. It takes time to practice feeling into that energy and then being that person. Become that new person. Act that way. Be that way. Say those things that you would say to yourself now. Say them now. Have those conversations with other people, even if it's not the reality yet. Be delusional enough, like some people say, that you're in this feeling, this good feeling, even if your outer reality isn't reflecting it yet. And then it goes back to what we talked about earlier, letting everything happen, letting everything in the external world transform. Because the internal world is transforming, it's going to transform on the external world. And then letting yourself move through all that to reach that neutral state where then there's no resistance and all the things you desire just come because you become that new person. You're creating the capacity on the inside of yourself to receive everything that you desire. A mantra you might use also is, let me be the person that can receive X, Y, and Z, right? Let me be that person who is peaceful. Let me be the person who receives abundance. Let me be the person who is love. Instead of saying the things that you want in the external world, say the things that you want to be so that you can receive those things. So that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining me for this reality hopping episode. Last week, I did an episode with gongs. It was a gong bath with subliminal messages, superliminal messages. Hope you liked it, and let me know if you want more of that. Let me know in the comments too if you like this exercise or if you have other ways of manifesting that you prefer. And if you want a personal meditation as a treat for yourself or as a gift to someone else for the holidays or the new year, find that at CandiceWu.com/personal meditation. I'd love to do that for you. I spend a little time intuiting what it is that you desire based on your intentions, and I create a gong bath or a meditation or both that's embedded with the frequencies of what you're stepping into to offer you. So I'd love to do that for you if you're interested, and I'll see you next time on the Embody Podcast.